Hey guys, it's V, and I thought I would walk you through a mining run here in 3.15. It's November 5th. There was a patch that dropped tonight, and so I thought, yeah, I just thought I'd drag you along. Now, the Prospector's going to have a Lancet on it, so it's not exactly starting. It does have some brands, but I don't think I'm going to actually use those. And so I do recommend maybe you do some box missions until you get build 40 or 50k or whatever it is you're going to do, if, you know, to start right off the bat. I don't really recommend taking the Prospector out with the Arbor. You certainly can, and you certainly could find a Laranite or Terranite or Hephaestonite or something that you could, you know, make some money doing it that way as well. But myself, I plan on doing maybe some light trading, maybe some chlorine or fluorine trading with my Taurus. You know, a few, maybe 10, 12 runs on that and building up to 50 or 60k, and then dropping some money on the Lancet, and then kind of going from there. So that's kind of how I'm starting tonight. It's the Prospector with a Lancet. It does have a couple brands on it, but I don't think I'm going to use them. So off we go. Okay, so we're on CRUL1, and here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and pull the Prospector. And, you know, as you know, I like to do these day in the lifestyle videos for, you know, for mining. And we're going to take the Prospector over to HURL3. Yep, HURL3. And we are going to take a look and see if we can find anything. So, of course, I've already forgot what pad the Prospector's on. It's on pad 4. So yeah, and you're gonna see kind of things warts and all. I'm not gonna do much editing here. It's gonna be kind of a free-flowing event, you know, and so you're welcome to just kind of fast forward and that type of thing here. But in this particular case, I am just going to buzz over to HURL3. I am going to do some mining. I am going to do some extracting, and then I'm going to head back to CRUL1, and I'm going to go down and hit the refiner. So off we go out to the Prospector. You know, I've been doing this kind of practice run, getting ready for the live drop. I think it's, you know, I am a mining, main. That's what I do. And so I think it's going to be helpful to understand that part of it. And so Prospector seats it's got a little jankiness to it. We can, not for the female character models, but for the male character models, there is an issue. I will kind of show you the trick to get out of the seat. That works for me every time, and sometimes it's could be a little fun if we happen to get some Quantanium on board, which we very well could. So we're going to go ahead and fire up the engines here and get started. And like I said, we're just going to kind of head on over to HURL3. And, you know, I really think it's, I really think just kind of me showing you kind of the basic path for mining is probably, you know, for Prospector mining is probably the best way to, the best format to do these in.
Thank you. And please visit again.
Let me go ahead and calibrate again. Didn't quite go that time. And off we go. So yeah, so as I was saying, it's Friday, November 5th. They dropped a patch tonight. I think it's T. I can't remember exactly. And I played for a couple hours, and it was actually very good performance. And I managed to get a couple of things into the refiner, and so I do hope that we have a similar experience tonight. You know, it's the 3.15 mining testing has been interesting. There's a lot of artifacting that goes on in the UI. The surface, the scanning is really not in a great place right now, in my opinion. You know, it's not terrible, but it's a little bit slow. And I have found that actually doing some mining in space is it's a little less busy with the UI, which is good. I mean, it's not perfect, but you know, it's helpful that way. And so we're we're just going to kind of cruise out here and see what we can find. So, mining's a lot like fishing. You know, sometimes you're going to come out here and do really well in a very short order, and sometimes you're going to look around a little bit. We never know really what we're going to face. So, that being said, we're going to come out of quantum here in just a sec, and we'll get after it a little bit. So, a couple of things. I do have a host sauce set, some BKB Gladiators that I fly with, but I actually transition on my industrial ships to mouse and keyboard when I do mining. I tend to find it's a little easier. Some of the mechanics around, like putting your cursor on the mineable node and a couple of other things are a little bit janky right now. Not quite like they used to. It used to be you could kind of put your cursor anywhere on the rock and it would glow. Now it's a little more exacting where you need to place that cursor. And you know, it's okay. I mean, the most important thing that I'm trying to convey here is it's all doable. You know what I mean? And so, anyways, we're gonna kind of we hit our initial ping. I'm gonna kind of take it up to about 300 or so, and then we are just gonna kind of cruise over here and just kind of ping a little bit. And so here we go. Don't know that helps much, but it might a little bit. And so here we go. We're gonna got our first fish of the day here. Let's go ahead and just get up there and see what we got. We are gonna try and do some pre-scanning on it. That does work sometimes and not always. So let's see what we got. Not entirely sure yet. Alright, we're gonna kind of slide by this guy. Pull out the mining laser. The mining laser is the surefire way to get to understand what it is you're looking at. In this particular case, you can see it's 3.12% tungsten, 1.2% laranite, and a whole lot of inert. That's really not what we're looking for. And you know, if anybody watches this and has any tips or tricks, of course, I'm always absolutely willing to take a look, take a listen, and see if see if how you're doing it is more efficient than how I'm doing it. All right, there's our second fish of the day here. So normally I try and kind of ping once or twice, and one thing that's kind of interesting is like how the way that the clustering is working. You can see kind of like the little the stuff around the thing you're scanning. It actually will get smaller and smaller until you're kind of right on it, which I do kind of like that. That's kind of fun. And then once you kind of can get on it, then you can actually use the scanning mechanic. In this particular case, it didn't show me exactly what's going on there, but you can see that's actually laranite. Oh boy! Oh, we just missed that guy. Goodness, I got lucky. Oh, and here's several other rocks. Yeah, came in a little hot on that one, and I was able to kind of dodge it a little bit. So coming in hot again, but this could be good stuff here. So let's go ahead and take a look when we get up. And as you can see, you kind of got to be right on it. And now the scanning's starting. And this is going to be, let's see here. So that's a tungsten laranite. Alrighty. So it's not going to be a quantanium cluster. That's fine. Usually you can find sometimes two. That's some tungsten and laranite as well. And if it was, if it was up around 10 or 15%, I would probably do it. When you first when the patch is first going to drop, you know, you don't want to be overly picky. It doesn't have to be Quantanium. I mean, obviously, you know, the biggest bang for your buck is going to be Quantanium, but you know, without having the consumables to lean on, you know, the Lancet's just going to kind of have to do heroes work. So, you know, you got to be careful that you're making the right decisions along those lines. So I'm just kind of moving in here. Looks like we have a small amount of Quantanium there. If I put my... So, got my landing gear. So 3% Quantanium. That's not really going to be quite where we're looking for, and not a lot of other good stuff in there. So we're going to scooch our way back towards this. Got a couple here. I'm just going to slow down a little bit. I keep kind of running up on those guys a little fast, but you know, it's kind of doing that for your benefit more than mine. I'm usually not in the biggest hurry, but you know, I just thought I'd try and find some stuff that's worth looking at here. So what do we got here? We're doing some scanning. It's a Q-type. That's a good thing. So there's 2% Quantanium. What's this guy here? Let's cross our fingers and hope. Looking for something, you know, north of 15. I would probably do it. A 4.15. So that's not going to be great either. So off we go. We're going to tap out another active ping and head off into the ether here. So. Yeah, just head in this direction for just a sec. And it's not to say I couldn't have mined those rocks. They would have been fine, but you know, I thought I would look for something a little better for you. Something that I would normally mine. I don't want to be tremendously picky, and I certainly don't want this video to be incredibly long. We will just kind of see how it goes. We'll pick our pace back up a little bit. No problem. There we are. Let's see what we got. There's one up, kind of up above us as well. We can stop in and take a peek at. I almost think that something is kind of blocking the UI a little bit here when it comes to doing this scanning. I don't know what it would be, but anyways. There's a Hephaestonite at 10%. That's not terrible, not great. Tab out another. Kind of scooch up here and see if we... Sometimes you do get dead rocks, which means you can't kind of get the bigger scan into them. So we'll go ahead and kind of get close to this guy. It's kind of looking that way, but we'll see. Just kind of hit the laser there. Yeah, that's going to be a dead one. We're not going to... We'll keep on moving. Alright. Kind of head this direction and see what we get. So yeah, we're out here just kind of looking around. One of the, like I said, I've been practicing kind of for when things go live. I don't know what the heck's going on with that. Why would that do that? Is beyond me. Oh. All right. Well, we found some 4 things here. And hopefully there's something here that's worth a hoot, and hopefully these aren't dead rocks. They might be. Oh no, I just didn't have the mining laser out. So hopefully something... Oh, this is an M-type, so what do we got here? Let's take a peek. We've got tungsten and laranite. Okay. And laranite wouldn't be a bad thing to mine at a decent amount. What do we got here? 5% laranite. That's not gonna do it. And I'm looking for something like 15. Obviously, the higher the better, but at least 15. That's nothing there. And what do we have here? One more that we're looking at. 5122 and a 10% laranite. Not quite good enough, so that's too bad. We're just going to kind of keep heading in this direction. And this is kind of the thing you face when you go mining. Sometimes you just, you run across things sometimes right off the bat, and sometimes you don't. And it's just part and parcel with the way that the mining goes. Alrighty. We're gonna move in on this one here. We'll go ahead and get a couple of scans going. There we go. Starting to get into the area now. And there's the rock itself. Moving in on it. And what do we got? That's another laranite rock. Like a fairly low percentage. Yep. There was another one up here. Let's go kind of move in on that. Alrighty. Probably a dead rock. I'm not able to scan it, which is never a good thing. But we just want to kind of move in there and give it a try. Nope. Alright, well, we'll just keep on chipping away here. Kind of buzz over this way a little bit. And so, yeah, I'm planning on doing a little bit of trading, for 3.15 as well. I'm going to start out with the Taurus. I think I'm going to work my way towards either a CAD or a C2 to do some trading with. It's not a super high-profile thing to trade, but I definitely lean towards the industrial stuff. And mining's great. I really do enjoy mining quite a bit. And so... we're out here just kind of cruising around looking for something. And there we are. And there's the rock. Let's put our scanner on it. So that's a 15% Hephaestonite. Now, not a great rock, but I think we'll go ahead and take that one. And the reality is certainly when we first start out, something like, I would definitely take a 15% Hephaestonite. I'll probably get this back, and it will probably only be worth, maybe around 25,000 or 20,000 or so. But you know what? That's not bad money you know, for the first you know, kind of mining run of 315. So you know, it's you need a little money in your pocket for doing refining. You know, you need a little bit of pocket change for refining and that kind of a thing, and this will be a nice big easy target. So yeah, let's go ahead and see if we can't get her broken down. There's a lot of inert in here, obviously, as you can see, but we're going to be going after that, you know, 15%. So you figure there's about 150 on, it looks like 46 or 4,800. So you know, not a tremendous amount. You know, probably in the neighborhood of 15 to 20 SCU of Festinite, but it's not a terrible, you know, it's not a terrible thing. So, like I said, you know, kind of thought I'd give you guys a little bit of a look at what the mining looks like, and you can see the artifacting that I've been talking about. How the UI is just kind of, you know, just kind of janky looking. That seems to have really been a thing with 315. I go out mining in 314 and it's not like this at all, although it has its own issues with the scanning mechanics. But no big deal. We're just going to go ahead and make light and easy work of this Hephaestonite and tungsten rock, and we will haul it in and hopefully get around 20k. And of course, you know, we do much better all the time with Quantanium and other things, but you know, you don't need to be out here all night with me as I look around. So that's got a pretty low percentage of that stuff in it. That was real low. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look, and that's never a bad thing. That means that more of it's going to be concentrated in other ones. That also has got a very low percentage, so those two rocks we're probably not going to bother to break down. Let's take a look at this one. This one has also an incredibly low percentage. So most of the stuff is going to be up in these three rocks, which is great. You know, obviously the less we have to bust down, the better. This is going to be a 36% Hephaestonite. That's great. Maybe the lion's share of the Hephaestonite's in there. We'll find out. This is going to be a, yep, not much there. So it's going to be between those two rocks. So this is going to happen to have another 37% Hephaestonite. So yeah, not great, but you know what? We'll make it work. So we're going to go ahead and break this one down first. You know, nice big green, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. You know, just articulating the laser intensity, keeping it right in the green. I'm not going to use certainly not going to use any of my mining consumables for anything of this sort. And you know, like I said, I do recommend doing a little bit of whatever it is you want to do. Maybe some entry-level bounty hunting, maybe some box missions, maybe a little bit of trading. Whatever it is you can do to get yourself to 40, you know, between 40 and 100,000. And, you know, before you buy your Lancet. And, you know, nothing wrong with a branch or two. I mean, they're going to make, you know, if you do happen to run into Quantanium, you know, one spot of Quantanium is going to be, you know, like I hit a 20%er and it was around 80,000. So, you know, by the time you pay your refining fees, you're going to clear 150,000 on that. So, you know, and I'll show you that when we get back to the refinery, the job that I have running. Yeah, but that's this is kind of what mining looks like in 315. It's not, like I said, it's kind of rough as far as the artifacting on the UI, but it's not terrible. It's actually, the one thing that's a little bit awkward is they've really put quite a bit of additional environmental forces on the surface. And, you know, like, you know, my org is going to be wanting to centralize around New Babbage, and I tried, you know, Calliope, Clio, NU Turb, and Microtech, and you get pushed all over the place. So, all right, so we broke up the two rocks that have the stuff in it that we're looking for. We're going to obviously look for the highest concentrations of Hephaestonite first. None of this is all going to be perfect here. There's a 5445, not terrible. Let's go ahead and take a look at this guy over here. See if there's any kind of 100%er at all. And it just depends on how it's broke, and a lot of times it won't, you know, with it being such a low percentage, it's not going to be great. But so there's a lot of inert in that one too. Yep, this is not going to be. Let's go ahead and keep kind of looking at the rocks. All right. Yep, as you can see, there's going to be a lot of. Maybe this one broke a little better. We'll see down here. Because one of those was 100% inert. Yeah, that's 100% inert. 36%. Alright, well that's, you know, not going to be fantastic, but we'll make it work. So we're going to go into extraction mode here, and we are going to 47. Is that the best we can do? Is that our best rock? You can see it's not really remembering these times that it does scan these things, which does make it a little frustrating. 34. I think this one was up around was in the maybe 40s or something. Yeah, so that's my best one. So let's go ahead. We'll just kind of pull this guy in. We're gonna have an awful lot of inert on board. We'll have to see how this goes. And I wouldn't normally stop to do this, but you know, just for the sake of the video, I didn't want it to be incredibly long. You know, looking around for an hour for something to mine, and it can be that way. I mean, you know, the last time I flew out here it was just a couple of minutes, and off we went. You know, I found some quantanium, and I think this one was the other one that had like a 45 or something. I've noticed sometimes kind of hitting it with the, yeah, 47 there. So, yeah, we're almost taking on as much inert as a Festinite, so not great. But you know what? We're just out here doing some testing. All this stuff doesn't matter. It's going away. And so it's, you know, it's better to have a little action than no action. You got, you know, maybe you can get a sense of how, what a standard just your day in the life kind of Prospector run can look like. You know, in 315. So there's some there. It's a 22%. I'll just go ahead and scoop it up. And I think we're going to pass. Inert's going to become the main material now on board. That's okay. Yep, just kind of had to prime it there and get it scanning. Yeah, there's a little bit in there. I don't think there's much of anything in here. A little bit of a Festinite. I don't know if there's any more purples at all to be had. Anyways. Yeah, 100% inert purple. And all these were kind of low percentages. So, yep, that's a 28.42, so we're going to call her good there. And this is a, you know, I would say this is a below average mining run, but you know something? That doesn't matter. We're having a little fun tonight. It's Friday night. They didn't push it to live, and so I thought just a little kind of a last minute PTU day in the life type thing would be a little fun. So we're heading back to CRUL1. Go ahead and do that now. And I will kind of recalibrate here one time. And off we go. Well, I'm wondering. Ah, there we go. Alright, I was about to type into our display info and seeing how the B-Win was holding up. But off we go. So we'll go land on CRUL1 and see what kind of money we have. And you know, I'm putting an emphasis on living. You know, not losing my laser. Not, you know, I want to, you know, knock, you know, 15, 20, 25,000. You know, just to build up enough money to make sure I can do my refining, right? Because if you get 32 SCU of Quantanium, you know, if you have a perfect Quantanium run, yeah, that's going to be great, but just to do the refining job is going to be 5,000. And I think we're so used to running around with quite a bit of money that it's, you know, you know, the first week is going to be somewhat delicate, you know, outside of the organizational responsibilities of making sure that some of the people we help, you know, kind of get some armor, get some weapons, and get on their feet. You know, get some ship upgrades. You know, we want to be able to provide and assist. You know, providing for the guys that are in Oregon, and you know, I think we are planning to bring a couple of prospectors out. 2 or 3 of them out with some lancets and maybe using a mole as a scooping device. Maybe they're in Halo, or maybe we're just where we were just at, something along those lines. Looking around for some Quantanium, seeing if we can't headhunt a little bit. So we'll bring it on into CRUL1 here. We'll get out of the first quantum and get in the second quantum. We will take it on in, and hopefully the Hephaestonite that I managed to get, which probably not. It might be closer down to 10,000. It doesn't matter though. I'll show you in the you know, in the refinery how we got some Quantanium a little earlier. And when you do these things, you never know what you're going to run into. I actually do think it's nice when there's not a whole lot of editing. Although I did have kind of a weird pop-up that's going to make me edit a little bit. But other than that, alright. What do we got here? Just kind of scanning the ship here. Of course, scanning's not working that great, so not gonna worry about it. We're coming in hot. So yeah, that's you know, a kind of a day in the life kind of prospecting run. You know, certainly didn't make myself rich here on this run. You know, certainly had a little more success earlier with what was available, but didn't want to necessarily, you know, take tons of your time tonight. Or, you know, use tons of disk space, I guess. You know, making an hour-long mining video. And quite honestly, you know, anything around 15% that's got a night in it. I mean, Hephaestonite's the lowest one, but Laranite, Terranite, Bexalite, any of those ones that it would have, you know, if I can get them around 15%, you know, the first, you know, I'm not, like I said, obviously Quantanium's, you know, what you headhunt for, but you know, when you're first, I guess I'd like to say, I've made a lot of money on Quantanium, but you know, in 3.1. You know, the earlier ones, 3.11, 3.12, 3.13, Agricium made me rich. I mean, you know, it was readily available. It's, you know, not dangerous to run, and I was able to just mine that by the, you know, boatload, and so. Yep. Now, you're gonna see kind of One of the things about the Prospector is kind of funny right now is when I hold Y, it's going to lock me into the chair here. So it's never doesn't lock me into the chair. So you can see I'm stuck. I can't get out of the chair. But you know, I have another video on this. It's you just have to kind of keep spamming sleep, the sleep emote, and then eventually you'll clip out of the bottom of the ship or out of the back of the seat. It's not super fast. It's can be a little. It's kind of like the new mini game when you have a Quantanium run. It's like how you know can you clip your way out of the ship to in time before it blows up to. And actually, I mean, I do find where you got to do it a little bit, but as you can see, I clipped out already. It's not that bad, you know. It's not ideal by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not that bad. So in we go. Hopefully, it's more than 10,000 bucks. If not, you know, I'm just kind of showing my, you know, showing you a weak mining run, but that's okay. I mean, like I said, if this was my first 3.5 run, the fact that I have something, I have it in on the pad, and I'm back, and I haven't blown up, is always a win. So. And I will show you kind of a bug that I actually have seen as well. I mean, earlier, I had to claim my Prospector like one patch ago, and it seems to be kind of a little buggish about selling stuff directly to the, you know, to the selling stuff without refining it. But I'll show you that when we get down there. So, all right, so we've taken the Prospector out. We went over to HURL3. We looked around. We didn't find anything real great to mine, but we found, at the end of the day, a Hephaestonite, which is kind of the lowest of the things that I would recommend that you do mine. I mean, obviously from there, it's Agricium, Laranite, Taranite. You don't find, you know, Borace and that high of concentrate generally. I certainly haven't had that great of luck with it. But of course, Bexolite's a great one as well. And so we kind of looked around there. We found some lower amounts of Quantanium and some lower amounts of Laranite. You know, just didn't get a super luck of the draw this time around. But that's okay. You know, we're gonna go and see what we have here. And even if it's, you know, 8,000, when you refine it, it's 16. You know, a little bit of refining is gonna be 16,000. So you know that's the thing about refining. And so, not a ton of Hephaestonite though. I think we only had a 10 or 12 SCU, or maybe 14 SCU or something. We'll find out. This, like I said, this wasn't a huge money making run by any stretch of the imagination, but you know, just so you guys can kind of follow along with the process a little bit. I think that this does serve some very good instructional. You know, it's very good instructional. So we're going to check out the ore sales terminal here. We're going to just kind of check the Prospector. And you can see, yeah, so, yeah, I mean, there's the Hephaestonite, right? So it's around 10,000. I was in the neighborhood. So if you'll see, actually, it's interesting. You can see, like, it's got, for some reason, I've got more cargo on board than it thinks that it does. So, I can't quite understand why, but if I go to try and sell, it'll be like, no, you're not allowed to, right? So what I have noticed is if I come over here and I go to, you know, you do your refining job, and I'll begin one, and you can see here, I'll go to the Prospector and set up a work order. And then I'll just do the Hephaestonite, and I will do the Dynex Solvanation, which is, give me a quote, it's 1100. I'll just confirm that. Now, the good news is you know, that's still going to be 18,000 AUEC. Now, that's not a great run out there by any stretch of the imagination, but you can see earlier, like I did another Hephaestonite run a little earlier, but then I did get a nice Quantanium rack that I found the 22%er over there. And so that right there, that guy right there is like 170, 180,000. Maybe 160, something like that. So between these three runs, I've probably in a little over a couple hours or whatever, I got a couple 100,000 on the terminals that I'm processing. So if this was a start, kind of playing it out a little bit, like I'd already have a couple 100,000 kind of incoming. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad run. So, anyways, I think that's going to do it for me. And I hopefully, it's not going to ruin it for you. We did just your basic Prospector run from CRUL1 to HURL3. Picked up some Hephaestus tonight and headed back. So day in the lifestyle with warts and all. So, anyways, crossing our fingers that 3.15 will go live sometime soon. And I hope you enjoyed this content. There's going to be lots of mole runs and Prospector runs on the channel, and tips and tricks as things progress. And so thank you all for your time tonight. I will see you all around the verse.
Finding everything all right?